What's going on, good people? Welcome to Real Deal Sports. Usual guys are here. Myself, Big John, Brother Walt, gentlemen. It's here. We're gonna start this first
Let's talk about what's here. Hold on, man. Look.
college football
I don't mean
playoff.
to cut you off.
Playoff.
But it's been a minute since we've been on here. I just want to ask y'all how y'all holidays was. You feel me? And
Busy.
yeah, very busy. Of course, I figured, but
and also very upsetting because I got hit. But
your car got hit.
Your car got hit.
No,
right?
I got hit.
Man.
I am my.
that's not a funny situation, but it's just we are definitely grateful that Nico was not in the car when the car got hit, but it was just an unfortunate incident that happened with his car on Thanksgiving.
Hey, John, clip this and post this later. People, don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Don't come on, bro.
Yeah. Especially wasn't it snowing too?
No, it wasn't snowing, but don't drink and drive at all. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you in your teens, in your 20s, 30s, 40s. Don't drink and drive. Nothing positive ever comes out of it.
I thought you were about to say John clipped my car when you were like, John clipped this. I was like, where's this going? Where are we going with this?
No, but clip it. Stop playing and clip it. But but other than that, it was a good week. It was a good week.
That's good. Mine was pretty good too. It was my daughter's birthday as well, the day before. It's actually my other daughter's birthday today, Akira's. So yeah, we actually gonna try to do a little something for her today. So happy birthday, baby girl. She's still sleeping good.
That's dope. Happy birthday to the little one.
But let's start the show.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, with everything that has happened these last 2 weeks in college football, real quick, with USC losing Friday, TCU losing yesterday, Michigan and Georgia looking like the best two teams in the country. How do you see this shaking out? Who do you see as your top four? I'm gonna go here. I got Michigan, not in this order, but Michigan, Georgia. I think the committee has still put TCU in because you did lose by 3. You didn't get blown out, and I think they'll either switch. I think they'll switch USC and Ohio State just based off the way Utah pretty much beat USC. The second time around, a lot of people were saying, SC was going to win, and they looked good early. But, Utah's that second half team. They kept the game close going into halftime, and they end up running away with it at the end. So I'm gonna say Georgia, number 1, Michigan, number 2, TCU 3, Ohio State 4. What about you, Walt?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to somewhat agree with you. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely put Georgia in there. I hate to do it, but I gotta definitely put Michigan in there for sure because of the ass whipping they put on us last week, and that was a tough week, man. I was talking a lot of mess, and so Michigan fans, I still don't like you, but definitely Ohio State for sure. I still feel like they deserve to be in there just based off of the type of season that we had. We only had that one loss to Michigan, who was still a top 5 team as well. But I still believe that we still should have a chance because it's still. I was listening to some analysts yesterday. They were still saying that Alabama still has a chance to even possibly get in with their 2 losses, and this would be the first time a 2-loss team was still getting a championship. They said possibly could still get a championship. So that's why I'm like, if they let Alabama in, bro, they definitely still got to let Ohio State in. So what was that? I just said 3. And then, yeah, like I said, I agree with the still letting TCU in as well. Like I said, just based off of their wins and their schedules. Yesterday was definitely a tough loss for them, but just based off of them only losing by 3, like Nico said, I still believe that they still deserve to be in that top 4. So,
what about you, John?
Hang on, our producer's handing me something. Let's see. It's just
hey, producer.
There's no producer. Like I pretend we have a producer. OSU was bad at football. Look at that. No, I think they just forgot that.
Hold on.
I think Ohio State just forgot there are 2 halves in football. I think that's what the problem is. Because listen to this from last year, right? Ohio State 13, Michigan 14. It's not bad, but all right. Don't worry. We got second half. All right. Second half. Ohio State 27. Now that's what I'm talking about. Michigan, 42. Okay, how about this year? Halftime. Ohio State 20, Michigan 17. Them are nice numbers. I like that. How about that second half? 23-45. I think they just forgot there's 2 halves football.
Man.
Here's the thing, for real. I'm going to put Ohio State in at number 4 because of this. I don't think that loss was that big of a deal. I think the number was a lot different.
It is a big deal. You don't understand
that. I'm alone in this. I'm talking about, I don't think it was a beatdown like the numbers showed. I think there were 4 plays where there was terrible tackling, and it turned into a 69, a 69, a 75, and an 85-yard touchdown. You take away those 4 plays, their quarterback went 8 for 20 passing. They couldn't get the ground game going on those other plays. I'm just saying, other than some bad tackling on 4 plays, Ohio State held them very well on defense.
But you know what?
It wasn't like it was 4 plays. And then the scoring got out of hand because at the end, one team was trying to play catch up. And, what happens when that happens is you throw some picks.
You start forcing.
Right.
So that's right. That's down the stretch if you're fouling and the other team hits 8 straight free throws and you don't hit no threes and a 1-point game turns into a 9-point game. You didn't get blown out by 9. You lost by 1, but that's part of the game. That's how it works. So you're trying to play catch up and you make mistakes and they capitalize on it. I don't think that if they played again, it would be the same result. I think maybe Michigan would still win, but it would be by 3 or 7 or something like that. I think there were 4 plays where it was just poor tackling.
So I said you sound like a Michigan fan right now, but I was just talking mess.
No, I'm defending you guys. I'm sticking up for you. I said I'm not. I really don't think it was that big of a blowout, compared to what the score shows.
No, I'm just saying because you said if we played them again, they'll win by 3 or 7. So that's what I'm saying. You sound like a Michigan.
Yeah. If I had to bet right now, I would still pick Michigan by 3 or a touchdown. But I'm not picking Michigan by 22 again. I'd be ludicrous to think that would happen again.
But you know what? To that point, and I noticed this in the game, Ohio State settled for a lot of field goals.
Yes,
you
have to put the ball in the end zone.
That's fair enough, but it just seemed like when they were trying to go for it on 4th down, Michigan was stopping damn near everything that they were trying to do.
No, it was a couple calls. They converted once, and it was hands to the face on the tackle. I'm like,
it was another thing. A lot of penalties killed them too, though. But
I'm like, some of these calls, and I just feel like not even as Ohio State, just as a football fan, bruh. This is a barbaric sport. It's going to get physical. Now, if he's one of them guys that does it consistently, got the hands in the face and all that, then yeah. But, some of these penalties, I don't understand. Even with, the pulling guards. If you're a 5'10" corner, 200 pounds, and you got a 6'6", 300-pound offensive lineman coming at you, you're going to go for his knees. I'm not about to let you run me over. Come on, bro. Let's think logically. But that's a penalty now. You can't chop the lineman.
I'm just saying, if you're Ohio State, are you really afraid of Michigan? I don't think you are. I don't think you are. I think you're like, you know what, we can beat these guys. That score does not tell the whole story, and I don't think it does. Yes, yes, that game was ugly. It got out of hand. It got ugly, and it was a beatdown. And I understand in that sense it matters. But if these two meet again in the playoffs, I'm not counting Ohio State out. And for that, like I put Ohio State still in this. I don't think the 3-point blowout or if it was a 22-point blowout matters. I think you lost to the number 2 team in the country. And, other than those 3 touchdowns that he threw, he was 9 for 21 in the game. Like your quarterback wasn't just picking you apart. Whereas y'all's quarterback had 31 for 48, and then he threw 2 picks late. But I mean, it's just one guy's, I don't know. I don't think it was as big a blowout as it. So for me, I still have Ohio State at 4.
Only reason.
And then we didn't have our. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say, and we didn't have our number 1 receiver or running back. I mean, we ain't had them all year. They've been plagued with injury. Jackson Smith and Jigba and Henderson, Travion Henderson. They both been hurt all season. Now, I'm not saying they would have impacted the game, but you never know. You never know. Go ahead, Walt.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just feeding off of, what John was saying earlier, just, those 4 big plays. I mean, he really does have a point with that. I mean, it was poor tackling on the defensive side of Ohio State, and he is right. The quarterback did throw 31 for 48 in almost 400 something yards. So, I mean, they pretty much did their part. It's just the fact of only reason I'm saying. Well, my point was saying just how it was a big impactful game is because of just how big the rivalry was, and I just felt like some of the players on the Ohio State team, I felt like they just didn't understand that day how big that rivalry was that game. I mean that day, and it just felt like some of them were just doing, a lot of costly mistakes, with just going back, to the penalties. So I just felt like they didn't understand how big that rivalry and how big that game was. So that's what I mean by it was just bigger than the game, I should say.
Yeah. So if this keeps them out of the playoffs, it is a big deal. For that, it is a huge deal. If Ohio State is still able to make the playoffs, which I think they should be able to, I should think they should be allowed in. Then I don't think that. If I were Ohio State, I would move past that game. Like, listen, it happened. Put in the past. Let's go. We got another chance to play them. Let's get it done. And because of that, I think they can win again. If it keeps them out of the playoffs, yeah, that game's a freaking huge deal. Like, no question about it. But yeah, I mean, I think a handful of guys in Ohio State let Ohio State down. I don't think Ohio State as a team failed. I really don't.
But I do think, now Georgia and Michigan fans might not say this, but I don't think Michigan or Georgia wants to see. I don't think Georgia wants to see Ohio State or Alabama. I don't think Michigan wants to see Ohio State or Alabama. Now, they could be in the back of their mind, oh, we're the top 2 teams. Yeah. But let's be honest, you haven't had the best success. Georgia against Bama, Michigan against Ohio State. You ain't had the best success against these teams lately. I mean, you have in these last like 2-3 years, but overall, especially with Alabama and Georgia, it's the teacher versus the student kind of thing.
Right.
And then, with Ohio State and Michigan, it's the big brother, little brother thing. So I think if the committee somehow, some way made it those 2 teams get in and TCU and USC don't, I think Georgia and Michigan fans, they would be upset because it's like, damn, we gotta play them again. Who? Okay.
I'll say this.
Smoke again.
I don't know if CJ Stroud knows he's allowed to run. Like, this man has worse rushing stats than Tom Brady.
Well, I think for the first time in a long time, he's not like honestly, I tell people I didn't think Justin was as fast as he is because he really never had to show it. Now, CJ, I don't think CJ is a mobile quarterback. I think he's mobile enough to escape and make a throw, but I don't see him like
In
being like a deep.
college, every quarterback's a mobile quarterback. Like, I'm not saying you can just take the top off, but every quarter, like, that's a huge threat when the quarterback can just scramble outside the pocket a little bit. Ryan Tannehill, every now and then, will catch you off guard. You'll be slipping, and Ryan Tannehill will just take off. And I'm just saying, like,
He was a receiver in college. He got some kind of speed.
okay, but what I'm saying is, like, every quarterback, even Ben Roethlisberger, will still, even at his age, would still scramble outside the pocket. This man, okay, what I'm saying is, in his first game as a quarterback with Ohio State, he had 50 yards rushing on his in his first game.
I don't see how he got that. To be honest,
He now has 100 yards rushing in his career at Ohio State. In other words, he's gotten 50 yards since then. Like, that's what I'm saying. These are bad numbers. I'm not talking about. We're talking about like 2 yards a game. Like, I'm just saying, like, you have to have that threat just a little bit. I'm in college. In pros, you're gonna be a pocket guy all day you want. But in college, having that just tiny amount of threat of, you can't just drop 7 guys into coverage. Like, you have to watch me. I might go, and he does not have that threat at all. But it's how. But yeah, I mean, I just wish he would do it just a little more. But at the same time, like, I do like that he's showing, like, you know what, I can stand in this pocket and take these hits and throw this ball.
right? Yeah, yeah. But in other news, oh, go ahead, Walt. You asked.
No, I'm saying nope. On to the next.
In other news, Odell, guys, he was recently removed off of a flight. From what I hear though about the flight, they say he was like sleepy, drowsy, whatever, belligerent. But I think he was just hungover. He like, bro, just let me sleep on this flight. It was one of them. Like, hey, I know I got this early flight. I think they say he was coming from Miami or something. So, but I don't
Do you think this affects him going anywhere?
know.
Absolutely not.
I don't either.
No,
Absolutely.
because I think it was just one of them things. Somebody overdoing it. Taking their job a little too serious. Like,
Yeah, I definitely agree. I just feel like this was just, something similar, something small turned to big for no reason. Somebody just needs somebody. Somebody just needs something to talk about, I guess. But at the end of the day, Odell's still a hot commodity. Everybody still wants a piece of Odell. You know what I'm saying? Take that however you want to take it, whatever. Um, but yeah, everybody still wants to see where Odell wants to land, I should say. So they want to see if he wants to go to Dallas or if he wants to go to 49ers, whoever, you know what I'm saying, the Rams. Not sure if he wants to go back to the Rams with their situation, a lot of injuries going on, but just like I said, at the end of the day, it's just something small turning to big, trying to get turned big, and everybody still wants Odell. So no, he's good.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, I think it's this whole thing with T.O. back in the day. Is like when they say, well, I don't put him in the Hall of Fame because of his baggage he brought to teams. It's like, okay, well, tell me the baggage. And then they tell it to you and be like, that's it?
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of it was
that's the baggage? All right, bring him on over. Like, are you kidding me? Like, y'all actually insulted something? Like, this ain't some A-B stuff. Like, this is, I'm like, you talking, like, okay, bring the baggage. Let's go. We'll handle that, like, internally. I mean, his whole career, man. Like, the stuff they make a big deal out of is like, oh, he was on a boat with some guys and they took a picture. And where's the bad part? Like, you gotta tell me the bad thing. Like, oh, Juju Smith, he or AB, they were filming in the locker. All right, where's the bad stuff? Like, did he assault somebody? Did he, like, that's not baggage. That's not baggage. I'm sorry, bring him over. The talent is worth it. I don't care what you say. So yeah, this is one of those things. Yes, a lot of the people on the flight, I understand they were upset at OBJ. I would think more upset with the people. It's like, dude, really? Like, half the people on the flight are faking putting their seatbelt on anyways, and then those people are now upset at OBJ because he didn't fake it. It's like, come on, man, this is your fault. It's like, dude, you didn't even wear your own seatbelt. I know, like, I you know what I mean? Like, whatever. You got your laptop on your lap. You know, whatever. They just do all kinds of things to, like, I'm not buying it. But yeah, so I think this is nothing. But I understand that the people who are on that flight, they're going to be real pissed. Don't care. I don't care. I'm more upset at the people who like kicked him off. Like,
and it seems like the NFL wants to get you to get in the Hall of Fame. It seems like they want you to be one of those modern wide receiver. They want you to be one of those players that just stays out of the media or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's kind of still hard to stay out of the media, especially nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like with everybody having their camera and stuff out, but it just seems like they don't want you to be yourself. And I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like everybody should be themselves. And I mean, Odell, he's just being himself, bro. Like he's having fun being an NFL player. So I mean, I just don't get why they just, and like John said, he doesn't have a record. He doesn't have anything bad on his record. So I mean, other than like you said, taking a couple pictures and partying or whatever. I mean, but he's still young. So I mean, you expect this guy not to party while he's young? Like, come on, bro.
To
like,
that point, I disagree with you just a little bit. I think the NFL doesn't want you to stay out of the media. They just want anytime something happens for you to be like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I love the NFL. I just want to do anything I can be. Like they want you to just bow down and worship the NFL at that point. Right. And if you have any sign of like, the NFL, that's where they get mad. Because
if you have any type of rebuttal, they're gonna get pissed.
Right. Like you can do some Ben Roethlisberger level stuff. But if you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, NFL, I will do anything to get back in your good graces. Tell me, NFL, what I must do to get like they'll be like, okay, yeah, no, you win, you're good, man. Don't worry, we'll get you another Super Bowl. Yeah, you need another Super Bowl. All right, we'll give you one of those too, Ben. You'll have one of the worst performances in Super Bowl history, and we'll still give you one. Yeah. No, we'll do it. Make sure that gets done for you. But if you have any sign of like, really, that's all you got on me, the NFL will be like, I mean, they run them guys out of the league left and right. Like they don't care about talent; they care about shield, and that's where it gets nonsense. But to that point, yeah. So I disagree on that a little bit, like because they let some bad dudes get through into the Hall of Fame, as long as they worship the shield.
No.
Yeah, that's because they did a lot of ass kissing, though. I mean, I should be real.
I agree.
Hey, as we say, that topic for another day, I guess.
Yeah. But real quick before we change topics, where do you guys see him? Like the best fit for him.
Well, from the looks of it, it looked like the Bills been trying to cater to him all his needs lately. Like they trying to give my boy full course meals, all that. Like they trying to just. To me, it just seemed like the Bills at this point. It just seemed like they trying to cater to every need that Odell wants, and I feel like. And this is not a shot at Odell. And this is not a shot at Odell. And I just feel like with Odell being the type of person he is, he likes to, I won't say control everything, but he wants to control his environment of what things can happen to him, I should say. So just catering to all his needs, I feel like that's the type of things that, not saying that you need to do, but that's the things that he likes. And I feel like the Bills are doing the right things at this point to show that they really want Odell. That's what I'm pretty much trying to say.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I think that would honestly be the best team for him. Because the Giants, you don't really know what you get. Dallas, you don't really know what you get,
Especially out of Dak.
Yeah, so it's a toss.
I'd go play with Dak. But I like Buffalo too. I'd go to Buffalo or Dallas. I'm not gonna don't do the Giants thing, man. Cam Newton did that where he went back to the Panthers, and if you every misstep you have, they'll be like, oh, this is why we got rid in the first place. Like it's just I wouldn't go back there. I'm sorry. Like I know they're trying to cater to him a little bit and trying to be like, no, come back, OBJ, we want you. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Also, you know what? All this, if you go another team too, that's just more jerseys you get to sell. Which everyone up there, they already got your jersey, so they ain't gonna buy it again. So I say go somewhere else, man. Make some more money, sell some jerseys. I like Buffalo, but this year if I'm going for a ring, I'm going to Dallas. Buffalo defense is shot, and those players aren't hurt; they're out for season shot. So like that secondary is, I mean, you're going to be getting shootouts every night, and you want to get a shootout with Pat Mahomes. Good luck, because their defenses at this point might be better than the Bills. So it's I'm going to Dallas if I'm him, but Buffalo's definitely. It's New York, man. They got the nightlife he wants. Dallas has the nightlife he wants, but I know he likes that Giants.
Let me ask you this: if you think if he goes to Dallas, do you really think he's going to be able to be himself? I should say, like, because again, Jerry Jones, he likes to be media head and show off and all that other stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, you have to be like all team or follow Jerry Jones's rules, or you're not on my team type. You know what I'm saying? But we all
So
know that Odell is
I
better.
say yes. I say yes because one reason. I'm just going there for 1 year to win a ring. So I got 5 games, the playoffs, and then I'm trying to sign a new contract next year with a new team.
No, I
Maybe the
think
Bills, probably the Bills. But I'm just saying I'm
whoever
doing it for the ring, and then I want to get another. I want to get a bigger contract, and I'm out. I would not re-sign with Dallas, no. But I
Okay.
think they have the best
I
shot of winning
think
this year.
I think just based off the injuries for him, it would be best to sign at least 2 years. The rest of this year and all of next year.
Well, then go.
Because
I'd go.
let's say you do get hurt again. At least that money's still coming. Compared to now, the good thing I guess he knows the art of saving, but you don't know what kind of deal you're gonna get now. They can give you the veteran minimum. I don't know what that is. I think it's like 700,000 something. So I don't
Yes,
know.
I mean, they've already spent more than 700,000 showing him around the town. So
I
if they're gonna,
agree.
I don't think they're gonna give him that. But that's what I'm saying. If I'm gonna sign a multi-year contract, I want to go to the Bills. If I want a shot to win year in year out, I'm going to Buffalo. But I'm saying I'm talking about if they want to win this year. If he wants to get, because the thing is, if he wins a ring this year, he's gonna get that contract. Like he's not gonna max contract, but he'll get a nice contract going into next season if he can win another ring. I don't see that happening with Buffalo.
I mean, you don't think his one ring with the Rams don't justify what he could have did? I mean, if you think about it, if he don't get hurt that one play, we don't know what type of game Odell could have had that
I
game.
think
Yeah.
he probably wins MVP. Honestly,
I mean, let's be real. He could have went off that game. So I mean, I just feel like him already winning that one ring with the Rams and how he performed in the playoffs to get them to that point. I
yeah.
feel like that's enough to wear towards. Hey, shit, give me my money now. If
I
I
mean, I
was,
agree, but like we saw this a couple years ago when Kevin Ware was, man, I feel old now, but it's been a while. But Kevin Ware played for the championship game, and then he snaps his leg, and then like you saw his draft stock went real fast, right? That's what happens. It's like, oh, I want this guy one, and his leg snapped. Oh shoot! All right, where we got to go now? That
that's fair.
happens. It's football. That's what happens. You know. So because of that, like I think him being able to come back, play, stay healthy and win a ring is going to, I think staying healthy is going to be a big part. I don't know. I wouldn't sign a 2 year contract. I would play out the rest of the season and then try to get another contract with a team, probably 3-4 years, and definitely Buffalo. I would not stay with Dallas past this year. But I think his best shot to win this year is Dallas, and also in Dallas. I know CeeDee Lamb's kind of the number one guy, but you can from game to game, Odell could easily be the number one receiver, like a Kawhi Paul George situation.
I mean,
Whereas in
too.
Buffalo, Stephon Diggs is the guy. There's no chance you're getting more targets than Stephon. So, this is another chance for him also to be able to increase his stats more than he probably would in Buffalo. So I mean, I think Dallas is just the best option for him this year, but I wouldn't sign another year with him. No.
Yeah, makes sense.
Fair
So,
enough.
switching gears here to the association. Gentlemen, so far with this NBA season, who can you see making a push for a deep playoff run? I would say, due to what happened in Boston this offseason, they look good. They look good. Now, I think, when you get to the playoffs, it comes down to coaching. So, that will remain to be seen how they look in the playoffs. But Boston looks good. Phoenix, they're still the you know, top of the West. That not now that remains to be seen if they can just if the playoffs is going through Phoenix, can you win at home? Last year you lost Game 7 to Luca and Dallas, but you know it's interesting. I could right now I could see a Phoenix Boston kind of finals. But I think when it's all said and done, I think Giannis. Giannis is who he is. They're getting Chris Middleton back. I think I think he'll be right come playoff time, but I don't know. I don't know. Them like and even with the Lakers, man, they've been on a run lately. They just beat Milwaukee and Milwaukee. Not saying they world beaters or nothing, but we all know when LeBron get into the playoffs, it's not good for everybody else.
You got to get there though.
Yeah, that's true.
He definitely got to
What
get
what
there.
you got on it, Walt?
Um, me me personally, just based off of it's still somewhat being early. I mean, but if it's still too early to call in my opinion. But like I said, us having this show, we have to make these type of predictions, I guess. So I would say definitely in the East, the top teams for me most definitely right now is Boston for sure. Boston and the Bucks, and I would
Okay.
even put Cleveland up there though because they top three. Those are two top three teams right now in the East. And if I wanted to have somebody come out the East right now, I would definitely say just Boston, just based off of just how Tatum and Brown are just meshing right now. Like it's just like seeing just like them two work. It's just crazy. Like it's just they feeding off each other. The chemistry between them and the chemistry between the team is just crazy right now. It's just like they all flowing. It's just like what I'm saying. You putting all it's all flowing. You putting all the ingredients into the blender, and then it's coming out to be that perfect smoothie for real. And it's just like just based off of everything that they just coming off of, like Nico said. What I'm saying with the whole Beam. I always bomb his name, but
Ime Udoka.
yes, thank you, sir, thank you. But just coming off of that, what I'm saying, and still being able to start the season off strong, I should say, it's pretty dope, man. And like I said, I feel like right now Boston is definitely the most complete team, and my team out the West is. It's kind of hard for me to say I know in the West right now, just because the West is like it's felt like it's the weaker conference. I hate to say it. Like it's kind of like the East and the West kind of switch. You feel me? But I just feel like the West is more open than the East is. I should say
Oh,
because right now they got Phoenix at number one, Denver number two, Pelicans at number three, and Memphis at four. So it's like who's to say that those top four teams right now are still going to be leading? Comes at the end of the season, I should say, but. It's just tough for me to say who I want to say can come out the West, but I want to say Phoenix, but I don't know. It's just because you can still say, like I said, the Warriors, they still contributors. You know what I'm saying? I can't count them out either, regardless of how slow they starting off the season. It's just can't count the Warriors out. You can't count the Lakers out, and just based off of Clippers' health between Paul George and Kawhi, they could still possibly come out, but. Again, us having to make these predictions, I'm gonna say Denver. Just based off of with them coming back. I think Porter. I'm not sure if he's back yet, but I think they still got Michael Porter Jr., who was either still out, and that was one of their key pieces that was out from last year, and also having Jamal Murray coming back as well. So I feel like them two coming back and adding to the Joker. We all know how he gets down, so. Him getting his sidekicks back, I should say, and him getting his good role players and star players back, I should say, if you want to call them star players. I feel like he can possibly come out the West. So I say right now, I say between Denver and the Bucks for sure.
go ahead, brother John.
Uh, I do like Denver, man. I really like Denver. Like playoff Jamal Murray is not the
Listen,
same as regular season Jamal Murray,
listen.
and so we can't forget about that. So I like playoff Nuggets. They can expose a lot of the Suns' weaknesses. So I really I know Chris Paul can defend well, but I mean some of these young guards starting to catch him here and there, and so you got to put someone else on them, and and then some of these guys like Jokic, who had, kind of like Larry Bird a little bit. They got a lot of moves down low. They'll pump fake you 3 times, go up under. Like, he'll get the Suns' big man with them moves. So I know he's a decent defender, but Jokic is a little sneaky down there. He's not going to out athletic you, so he's going to try to pull some other stuff. So I like the Nuggets, man. I really do. I think they're the favorites in the West right now. But I like the Warriors to come running back. I don't think the Warriors are going away. I think they got some Draymond issues they got to deal with. He said the other day, you don't want to get no more technicals. It's like, all right, well, you're doing it to yourself, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just, they're not just handing them to you as you walk by. Like, you doing this stuff. So, Mr. New Media, whatever, he don't want to criticize the player. He just wants to attack them all on the court, so he's very nice with his words, but he's just going to hit them all with his fists, I guess. We'll see.
Hey, shout out to Draymond for passing Michael, too, on the 3-pointers.
So you can
I mean, yeah, and what's his name? LeBron passed Magic all time in the assists column, so number 6.
How crazy is that for somebody that possibly can finish his career in the top 5 category in assists, rebound, and scoring, bro? That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Over in the East, man, I still got Bucks. You like you said, Chris Middleton's coming back. I think it'll change up the dynamic of the team for a couple games, but once they get back with Middleton and him and Giannis going, you're going to see that duo get back to work and do what they do. But so I really like the Bucks out of the East still. But can we talk about, like, is it time for Popovich to hang it up? No, I'm not taking a shot at him. I'm saying for real, like, is it time? Like, is it time? Like, this guy has like one of the greatest coaching records of all time, and it is just going down the tank these last few years. Like he was like a 70% winner, and now it's like starting to creep closer to like 60. Like, he's just getting further and further down. Like, he's gonna ruin his coaching stats with these numbers.
You gotta create or not create, but
Yeah, I mean it is been a tough go for him.
Ball players, that's what it comes down to.
But that's the thing is, it doesn't seem like players want to play for him. Talk to DeJounte Murray and guys like that. Like, they want out. Kawhi, they want out. Like, you have to get guys you have to get not just 1, 2. You have to get a group of guys who buy into his system.
It might be his way of coaching. We don't.
Right. And I don't think you can find a group. Like, you might be able to find 1 or 2 guys who can buy into his system, but it's just not going to work unless you get a group of guys who buy into his system. And it's not happening. Guys are saying, I don't want to play there. I want out.
I mean, yeah, that's fair to say. I mean, it just do seem like Pop about to ride this thing until the wheels fall off for real. But it seems like the wheels is, we riding on like 2 wheels right now. So, especially with, this 10-game losing streak they on right now. So, it's going to be tough to find some group of guys that wants to play with Pop because, just what Nico said of his coaching style. He's not going to be able to find that same type of group of guys he had with the Mono Ginobilis, the Tony Parkers, and the Tim Duncans. Those guys were, I don't really know what the word I'm looking for, but those were like guys that can come together and, I guess, tolerate, Popovich type of coaching, I should say, especially with him having that military background. A lot of people can't, take that type of, coaching style, I should say, because, I guess those guys are somewhat kind of hard to deal with because of, them having that background. But like I said, just going based off of what John said, Pop, he gonna ride until the wheels fall off, man. I don't think he really cares about the record. He just wants to be around the game of basketball.
Right. Like, if he just got like handed the Pelicans or something, I can see him sticking around. But like, you ain't got like some young guys up and coming who are about to take out the lid off the league. Yeah. So like, what is your rebuild strategy? You actually think you're gonna stick around for 4, 5, 6 years to see this just turn into a playoff team? Not even talking about a contender, but playoff team in like maybe 3, 4 years. Like, I don't know, man. I don't
maybe based off how the season goes, maybe I could see him maybe retiring after the season. Like, I mean, right now they're last in the division. They only got 6 wins. I mean, and like John said, they've been terrible these last couple of years, and nobody really wants to play for them. So maybe based off of this season, I could see him possibly retiring after this season. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, honestly, what else do you have to prove, though? Honestly,
right? Like, you want to see the greats go down swinging. You don't want to see the greats just taking haymakers to the face hoping the
Yeah.
ref, waiting for the ref to call the fight. Like it ain't how you want to see him go down.
Yeah,
And
it's
I like
just
for his own, like Elon taking Kanye off Twitter. It's like, listen, I'm doing this for your own sake, man. Like, it's just you know what I mean? Like, so you stop taking haymakers to the face. I'm just gonna pull you off for a second. Like, I think that's just what you gotta do, man. It's like a mercy killing. It's like you just gotta like, bro, like someone in his corner has to tell him, like, hey, man, don't go down like this. Like, don't.
But so another quick question. So who, if he does step down or retire or whatever, who would you think would want to take the place of Pop? You know what I'm saying, of trying to coach the Spurs?
I mean, I think a lot of people would because it's the Spurs, the historic franchise. It's you got history there, so a lot of people would want that job.
Just
Maybe
but
Jeff,
based on what you're saying though, you ain't got
I think Jeff Saturday is probably qualified more than anybody. To take any coaching job. So I would probably say Jeff Saturday won, and then after that we can talk. But maybe Ime Udoka.
Hey, maybe me and you could go. Maybe one of us can go coach the Spurs or something. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no experience. Hey, well, actually, I got rec lead experience. Do that count? No.
I think that might be slightly too qualified.
Wow.
No, I think it is a coveted job. I definitely think. I mean, San Antonio is a nice little town. It's it's a good sized town, but it's an old school town. It's definitely old school, but like it's a decent sized town. It's got a strong. You got a good fan base, a historic team. I think there's a lot of reasons. The no taxes, all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of reasons you'd want to coach down there in San Antonio. So I think it is a coveted job. But it's a rebuild, so it's not like there's going to be a lot of expectations on you the first year you get down there. I definitely think it's a coveted job, but who wants it? I don't know, but I'm sure there's a line waiting for it.
You're being very modest because just all of our previous conversations of you really not liking San Antonio, but
it's not for young people. I don't feel it's a young person's town, but like it's I'll say this. I'm not a rodeo person. I don't go to rodeos, but I do recommend that one. If you go to rodeo, go to the one in San Antonio. Don't go to any others. You're wasting your time. They have the best rodeo in the country. It's not even close. Hands down, best rodeo. But, I mean, if you're not into rodeos or looking at the Alamo or something like that, I don't know what there is to do there. But no, I mean, it's a big-sized town, strong fan base. Easy on the taxes. There's a lot of reasons to go want to coach there. I definitely think there's going to be a line to out the door applying for that job. But yeah, I think it's time, man. I think it's time Pop steps aside.
I agree. He ain't got nothing else to prove.
I say the same. Right off into the sunset, or maybe he waiting on that. What's that new kid coming out from France?
Victor, his last name.
Wembanyama.
He gonna tank for him, and if he don't fall to him, he like, all right, I'm about it.
Yeah, I'd probably see that. I think Charles Barkley said, "Who's your mama?" or something like that. I think that's his name.
Wow.
I think. What was the line from Batman or whatever it is where he says you either die the hero or live long enough to be the bad guy? That's the thing is you retire after all these championships, you can walk into any place in San Antonio and get a free burger if you're him. You lose for 5 straight years. This new crowd's gonna have, that's the only thing they're gonna remember. These younger kids coming up, they're gonna be like, ain't that dude who ran the team into the ground for 5 straight years? That's what they're gonna remember. And that's for me. That's why I'd like to see him call it after this one. If we don't get Wembanyama or whatever.
Not Wembanyama.
It is what it is.
Hey, you know what? I ain't even about to take us out yet. I'm about to give my quick shout out real quick to my boy Watson for making his debut today. We're not going to talk about nothing else. I just wanted to say quick shout out for my boy Watson making his debut today. Us Browns fans, we excited. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say. But now I'll take us out.
That even made me yarn talking that.
Man, you've been yarning over there for like the last.
Can I make a prediction?
You're trying to hear it, man.
I say they try to do the Dak thing and they try to ease him in. I say they maybe do 21, 25 throws, and they try to run the ball and just get this win.
Look, I was having the same conversation at my mom's party yesterday with all my family. I said the same thing. Seriously though. Like,
The mom's part.
yeah, my mom's party. Shout out to my mom. It was her birthday yesterday as well. Yeah, it's got a lot of birthdays in December and November, man. I'm sorry, but whatever. It is what it is. And it's so close. I got moms, daughters, and then my mother-in-law. Man, look. Anyways, but yeah, I was saying the same thing, man. I just say ease them in a little bit. I'm not expecting Watson to have too much of a big day today. I know I've been saying this for weeks now. We should just continue to feed Chubb. I just feel like should just let Chubb do his thing down there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's going to be an easy win, but I just feel like this should be a simple win for the Cleveland Browns and just go down there. And I feel like our running game should be at least 150 plus today. That's what I'm expecting. I don't expect too much out of Watson today because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of emotions there. You feel me?
I want to see 180 to 220. Because we just saw the Eagles run.
I see 150 plus.
I know. I'm saying I'm pushing it a little higher. I want to see 180, 120. Just a little bit higher. I want to see them take the lid off on the running game, establish themselves like, oh, yeah, Eagles, nice running game you got. We're still the Browns. We can do this better. Because we just saw the Eagles run for 360 yards.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I want to see a little more than 150 out of the Browns. But, yeah, I think they get this win.
That's fair to say. Like I said, that's all I want to say to my boy Watson. Shout out, hey. Yes,
hey,
Watson number 4.
I think the Bears owner is coming into town, isn't he? Aaron Rodgers, he's here, isn't he? He's here, right? I think he just showed up. So I think the Bears, we might be able to see the owner today. It'll be really cool to see the Bears owner.
Nico, you ain't got nothing to say about that?
Hey, this season was over for Aaron Rodgers, and he said, "Oh no, I'm coming back just for one more game. Yeah, I'm definitely kicking curb stomping them Bears."
And that's all he's been able to do. It don't matter. He owns the Bears, but what is that saying? You ain't won a Super. And it's funny because he hasn't won a Super Bowl since he beat the Bears.
See, I want to talk to y'all real quick when we get off of the show about that. I was having another conversation about Aaron Rodgers and Dan Marino. But we talk about that off camera, whatever. But anyways, that's been the show, y'all. We appreciate y'all joining us this morning, this beautiful Sunday morning. It's your boy Big Wart, my boy Nico Suave up there, looking suave in the mofo. Boy John, hardest working man in showbiz. Appreciate y'all. We hope y'all had a safe holiday. And what you doing up there, man?
Hey, look what my wife got me for Christmas.
But it ain't even Christmas yet. Hey, that is fire though. That's fire.
We're going to St. Louis, so she got it early.
Oh well, hey, I like that. I like that. You should see if that's like a real shooter. Like, was that like OKC colors too?
No, it's a Jordan.
What I'm saying is that's like the OKC colors. It look like though. Like,
almost. Pretty close, yeah. But I like it.
All right, they look pretty damn similar to me, but whatever.
I think you're right. No, I didn't think about that. I think you're right. That's what I was saying. I think you're right. I had to do a double take.
Well, shout out to wifey for getting that early Christmas present, and y'all going to St. Louis, but like I said, I hope everybody had a safe holidays. We appreciate y'all tuning in to Real Deal Sports. Tune in next time. And y'all have a safe day, man. Enjoy y'all Sunday. Sunday fun day.
Yes.
Go out with the family. Go do something. Throw your Tyreek up. We out of here. Deuces.